Hey, welcome to this new version of YAG 0.8.1.0 in which I've got two brand new features to tell you about. The first one is that the dice behavior has been entirely removed from the C++ code and is now completely scripted in Lua, which means that you can do absolutely whatever you want, including recreating your own dice language if you're so inclined. The only thing that YAG is doing in the formula that you pass to it is isolating the NDX part of the formula, so it knows what dice to roll and give you the results back. It also gives you the constant, but apart from that, it gives you complete freedom over what letters you want to use and so on. So you can completely make anything you want. And of course, as an example, I have rescripted in Lua the old C++ behavior, which is the default YAG behavior. So if you are not interested in scripting and you run the new version of YAG, you will not see any difference because it behaves exactly the way it was behaving before. The only difference is that it's now completely done in Lua and is entirely modifiable. I have still added a small new feature in the language. It's now possible to obtain by default exploding dice, and we can now use formula like 5d8, h3, e7. h3 means keep the higher 3 like before, and we have now the e for explode, which means that we are going to explode the dice with value of 7 or above. For example, we're going to try this formula. We can see that we've got one exploding dice here, a 7, and it has been re-rolled into a 2. And you can see that the program is now giving us all the details. For example, in the D8, we've launched 5 D8. 3 of them are kept. One of them marked with an X has been re-rolled, giving a 2 that is added to the total, and we've got a grand total of 19 here. So this is all done in Lua in the default module here, and you can see that the script is quite small, so really easy to do. I'm not calling any other module, any other library, nothing, so it's all done here. You can see, for example, where I'm keeping the highest or lowest die here, using a regular expression to get my formulas. The explode number is also taken after the e here through a regular expression. The reroll is done if the results are not empty. We are calling back the roll dice here, and all the details are displayed here, so you can modify the way the journal displays the detail very easily. So this is just an example, but this will be the default behavior of YAG, which is now coded entirely in Lua. So that's one thing. We have now complete freedom over the behavior of the dice. The second thing is that it is now possible to interact a bit with the pawn themselves through Lua. I needed this because when rolling an initiative, for example, for a pawn, let's take this one and roll its initiative. You can see it have an 18, and I'm going to roll the init here. 2 dice 20, keep the highest one at 3. We've got 12, and you can see that the 12 has been updated, but the initiative, like the health and the participation to the round, is a property of the pawn. So I needed, in order to get back the old dice behavior and being able to modify the init of the pawns, I needed to access to the pawn, and so I did it. So it's now possible through Lua to modify the health of the pawn, so you can kill them through Lua, to modify their participation to the round or get it, and of course to modify, as you just saw, the initiative. It is done through two new functions in the API. So first of all, the existing function has expanding a bit the information that you can get from them. For example, those old roll dice button and roll dice callback function give you now the list of the selected pawns, so you can know what pawns are selected. The character sheet structure has been extended to give you the complete list of pawns belonging to a character sheet. okay, those 3 monsters belonging to this character sheet. You will get them now in the CS structure here. You have a new integer that you can use, that YAG is using to tell you the origin of the dice roll. So if it's an initiative, or it's from a character sheet, or if it's from a dice panel, the dice panel. So you can differentiate and act accordingly. For example, here you can see that it's commented, but you can, depending on the value of this number, you can know that it's that the dice were rolled from a line, the dice panel, or initiative. And I'm using this here to modify the initiative only when the initiative button has been clicked. Alright, and you can see that the code is quite simple. I'm getting through one of those new functions the properties of the pawn and its character sheet, if any, and then I'm modifying the initiative and I'm updating the pawn. So you've got those 2 new functions, get pawn info and update pawn here. You can look at them in the code, and of course they are completely documented in the PDF, in the API documentation. Okay, so the first function here gives you all the info that you need on the pawn, which for the moment is the 3 variables that I just told you about. And the second function allows you to update a pawn, or a list of pawns. You can give it a list of IDs, and they will all be updated with the new properties. By the way, I forgot to tell you that now the pawns, the way you can identify pawn through Lua is through this unique identifier here. So you can see that this one is ID 13, this one is ID 12, this one is ID 11, but you can modify them as you want. So let's call it JOR for Gorgon, okay? And it will still work when you change its initiative. Okay, because it's selected, and as it's been selected, it's in this list here, the selected pawns. Okay, and so it will be in the loop and it will be modified. I think this is it. So the important thing is that you have now complete freedom over the dice behavior. You can now interact with the pawns, and YAG is of course behaving by default exactly the way it was before. I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was interesting, and see you in the next. Bye.